Rice has been a staple food central to many Asian countries dating as far back as 2500 BCE, mostly around the Yangtze Basin in southern China. Rice can be grown almost anywhere, but young shoots thrive best in warm weather with a nearby source of irrigation because rice fields need a constant water level to ensure proper growth. So rice cultivation requires well-organized water channeling and is a very labor-intensive activity as the individual shoots are inserted one by one into the mud, although modern rice transplanters made the planting and harvesting process much more efficient by reducing the time and number of people needed to work the fields. Fortunately for us, and for the average urban Chinese citizen, in order to obtain rice, one can simply walk into a grocery store, where one can purchase a wide variety of rice, usually 25 kilograms for 80 yuan or $9.70 US, a cheap deal for its high nutritional value. Also, the grain yields twice as much volume when cooked and contain more energy value than wheat or potatoes, allowing relatively little rice to sustain the growing of a huge population. However, getting enough rice to feed a family is an entirely different story for the Chinese rural peasant ever since the Great Leap Forward movement in China lasting from 1958 to 1961. The Great Leap Forward was an economic and social campaign led by the chairman of the Chinese Communist Party, Mao Zedong, which aimed to use China's vast population to rapidly transform the country from an agrarian economy into a modern communist society. Rural villagers were mobilized and forced to form large communes of around 5,000 households each, leading to a government monopoly of production, setting the price and distribution. The Communist Party encouraged the reporting of increasing yields in order to please higher-level officials. As those inflated reports reached party planning department, not only were human labor diverted from the rural fields to the city to power the steel industry, but worse yet, higher quotas were imposed and foreign exports increased. In many cases, food rationing was introduced, leaving the rural Chinese less than 250 grams of grain per day to sustain themselves. Widespread famine lasted for 3 years, and the Great Leap Forward ended in catastrophe, claiming the lives of 45 million people. Eventually, Mao gradually lost his influence on the party, and a process of decollectivization under his successor Deng Xiaoping started in the 1970s. Yet the long-term effects of the Great Leap Forward are still present as the great economical divide between rural villagers and urban dwellers. Most rural dwellers, representing 60% of China's total population, have to rely on sustenance farming to produce food for the cities. Upward social mobility and getting an adequate education is almost impossible as they have to obtain a temporary passport to find jobs and live in cities such as Beijing.